is Tay with a very late video on the new GMX stuff. So, Blazing Dominion pre-release was today as of recording, and we got a second wave of GMX that is, honestly, I am really satisfied with it for one particular reason. This card can finally be cut from the deck. It is, at least in my opinion, I don't like this card. I think it's something that, while cool for the deck, is definitely something that is not good for it, because there have been times where I activate this and just die, and being able to cut that is huge. So I have two variants of it, but I'm gonna assume all the new cards are known. But just in case, I'll do a brief overview. White, if you control GMX, this card can be activated. When a monster effect on field is activated, excavate the top five. And then if there's a GMX card, you get to negate the activation, and you place them on top or bottom in any order. This specifically requires this card. So this does make Dino Dana a insta fusion target, and on special summon can add a GMX card from deck to hand. And if a card is activated by a GMX effect, if this card's on field, you'll gain 1500, or a grave, it will special summon. This is the new fusion. It is GMX monster plus two or more dinosaurs, and depending on how many materials it have, with at least three, it cannot be targeted by card effects. 4 can make up to 3 attacks each battle phase. 5, each time a monster is summoned by your opponent, they lose 800 life points. They got this, which is a new fusion spell, and is also branded fusion if your opponent controls a monster, which is very nice, and can be banished from grave to exit the cards until you hit a GMX, and then you add that to hand, and then the rest get shuffled into the deck. You don't lose any life on this. A field spell that sets spell traps from deck makes your the set effect is at the cost of returning a card from your hand to the deck, and makes all of your GMX monsters' summon effects unrespondable to, which is nice. This card, which is just a crazy dinosaur card in general, reveal this in hand to special summon any GMX or dinosaur from hand, and this does lock you into only attacking directly with GMXs. And if this is special summoned, bring back a Dino or a GMX from hand or grave. Then we have Suppression Squad, which if you control a GMX or dinosaur special from hand, then you can target a face-up monster on the field. You'll excavate cards into a dinosaur, send the dino to grave, and that monster becomes a dinosaur. So all very good cards, and I have built two variants of it, one for the TCG and one for Genesis. So, for TCG, I have a adapted list of the GMX for hire canine variant that was running around for a little bit, and I've just kind of updated it with some new cards. So first off, I based this off of the MBT list. Uh, Main thing I've changed is I have cut these cards, and I've replaced them with Selenda, the Field Spell, Experiment Report, and the Trap. These feel like good ratios, and honestly, what I really like about I think GMX for hire is like a really strong deck, because these both just get you so many free summons. The canines are also good because the deck does make lots of fives, and also the deck does discard quite a lot, so Lupus is a good thing you want to be discarding. And this feels like a decent variant. It might be worth just cutting the canines altogether for either more for hires or GMXs. This is mainly just like extra hand traps that you can search with the Ripper, but I still feel like this is a decent variant, and allow me to show you a combo the deck can do. Okay, so this is just a combo the deck can do. Honestly, one of the best openings you can get is Partner Slanda plus Rex for hire. But we've opened the field spell, which I'm going to lead with, and immediately get Rex for hire. Now, I misplayed this hand a tiny bit because I could have gone into Izuna the Ripper way sooner. I just didn't clock it until watching this. This is the point where I should have gone into Ripper, but I didn't do it until later. Then I go full go to excavate a bunch of cards. I have to go for the GMX quick play because depending on what the Link 3 draws me, this can make a lot of stuff. So I go full go, then I banish Rex to bring back that. And yeah, so this is a good amount of interactions. I can discard any card to negate, which will trigger Rex to draw, which will trigger full go to draw cards, which will be draw 3 since I control 3 different types. I got the Zune for the hand rip, and if I draw into a dinosaur, this is just a brain infusion when my opponent has a card, which can fuse into Velox, which is an excavation of a dinosaur or a GMX card, and then it will special, or if it's a monster, add it to hand, and then pop that card. Plus, you'll be gaining life points every time your opponent summons, which is like pretty solid. Now, I do have more faith in like the Genesis variant, mainly because hand traps are very good against this deck. It's very interruptible. Things like Droll kind of kill the deck, but still, I think this is definitely something to be considered in the TCG. Okay, so this is the GMX pile I am currently debating in Genesis, and I know it looks crazy, but I actually think it's pretty solid. So first off, why 60 cards? Uh, I don't know. I've just kind of like been wanting to tinker around with like a 60 card Dino pile, and the new GMX cards have like made that really good. I mean, obviously, I think the best card for that is the GMX Partners Linda. Being able to special any Dino by revealing, or if this card specials itself, being able to get a Dino from hand or grave onto the field is phenomenal. But also, this card that was originally written off as not very good, I think is actually very good in GMX. This is just another way you can get something like UCT onto your field, which is why we're not playing the double evolution pill package, because this is just better. It's a free special off of any turn that you've activated a spell, so it's free material for something for being able to pop. And when it's sent to grave by from anywhere, it can search either a kaiju or a Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. That's right, we are playing kaijus in the main just because we have a little bit of extra room. I know there's a couple of suspect cards in here, and I'll just go through them all. This is a 2 you can summon. You can summon so either this GMX or this GMX can be translated into Jurak Estero. Uh, I saw this card in a Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh list, and it is actually pretty good. This doesn't have to be fusion summoned. It is just a generic special summon, and the fact that it can recycle itself is pretty good. This is like decent board breakery. I decided to cut a copy of each of these because I think Meteor is fine at 2 for these because I like some variety. Where I have my points spent is 67 points Misk, 20 points Lars, 10 on 2 Pinkertops, and some Crows. I know you can play Misk alongside Fossil Dig. That is not good. Fossil Dig could be 1 point, and I still would not play it in this list. But overall, I am very happy. The way the new support works actually lets the deck play Lost World, which is one of the craziest cards for dinos. Basically, making all of your dinosaurs non-targetable and giving your opponent a token, so turning off things like Fua, Perulia, Infinite Permanence is just amazing. And also, anytime something would be destroyed, being able to plus off of that is really nice by popping the babies. But yeah, let me show you a quick 2 card that uses Lost Road and Ovi that actually makes a pretty decent end board. Okay, so this is a 2 card off of Lost World and Insulating Oviraptor. Begin back in the field spell, then going Solvi, getting a Misk, go Misk, target the token, instead pop a Petite, make Xenominoris for a Logia later in the turn, search a GMX Researcher Celinda, and then fuse with the 2 of them into Alos revive the Selenda. Selendis get the quick play. Xeno pop one. Make Logia set one. Now, this is multiple points of interaction off of just two cards. This way, able to go into any GMX fusion and can use GMX from deck. And this is just two negates. And I mean, off of two cards, that's not bad for Genesis. Plus, with all the Jurax stuff, you can weave that in. You can maybe get some Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos. And anytime this could be popped, you can instead pop, I don't know, like another Petite to get into something like uh, Pinkertops. I think the Genesis build of this deck is very sick, and I do think like 60 card is optimal. So that is the 60 card list and a little bit of what it can do. I'm definitely excited to test this out in Genesis. Even though the points list was mostly good, I do wish they would have done something about the annoying floodgates like Shifter, Fissure, and definitely Gravity Collapse. But if they're not going to ban it, might as well use it. Anyways, that's what I think about the new GMX stuff. I think it's incredibly playable both ways. I just think it's going to be easier in Genesis where you don't have to worry about things like Droll. At some point in the future, Shifter. But then again, we'll see how that turns out. Thank you for watching. Sorry this is so late again. I'll see you all in the next video.